Hey guys, in this video we are going to be covering how to mask emails. So how to customize the from name, the from email address that shows up with these emails when your leads receive them. So this is definitely going to be a longer video because there's a lot to cover, but let's just jump right into it. So I'm in campaigns and I'm going to create a campaign for testing. So create campaign, I'm going to add an event called, let's choose of course an email. The subject is going to be test, the body is going to be test. Hitting save, I'm going to call this campaign email testing, and I'm going to publish the campaign. So I'm going through this pretty quick because I assume you guys know most of this stuff. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself as a lead. So contacts, add contact, add single contact, Ian test, my email address because we're testing emails. I'm going to hit save. And now I'm going to find my lead. There I am. I'm already in there twice, so I'm just going to delete the one I made previously for the sake of it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add myself as a lead to that campaign to see what happens. So how do I do that? I click on my lead. On the left, I scroll down, add, campaigns, email testing, add. And now I've just added myself, the lead, to a campaign that has an email event, so I should receive an email, right? So I'm just giving it a bit of time. As you can see, it might take a few seconds, it might even take a few minutes, it depends. But I just received this email from the campaign. So I'm going to scroll over to my inbox, which is right over here, and I'm going to, reload it a few times, and there's the email I got. This is the test email. I'm just going to archive this one so you guys don't get confused. But there it is, test, right? And I'm going to click on it, and as you can see, this was sent from high level, that's the name, from this email address via this domain. So in this video, we're talking about like, how do you customize this? Where does this stuff even populate from? Okay, so let's quickly talk about the via. So this via replies.gohighlevel.com, this is everything to do with Mailgun. So we're not covering that in this video. But this is purely getting your own Mailgun account, setting up your own subdomain and Mailgun of your domain. So we're not going to talk about that at all. That's purely Mailgun related. In this video, we're going to talk about how do you customize and how does this get populated. So where is this being populated from? High Level and ian.einhaber@gmail.com. Well, if I go back to High Level, I'm just going to back out here and click Settings, Company. Here's where that's being populated from. High Level and ian.einhaber@gmail.com. We are using this company level name and email to populate the emails that send out. So if you were to update these settings here, they would be reflected in the emails. So I consider this the weakest layer. This is like the default. We fall back here, right? So you need to know that. And one little tip I'm going to give you here is that you should always have a name and an email populated here. For example, if you had just a name here, I'll show you what happens actually. I'm going to hit save, go back to contacts, find my contact again. Let's add myself to that campaign so I can show you what happens. So add campaign, email testing, add, give it a few seconds, it's sent out right away. I'm going to go back to my inbox, refresh a bunch of times, and check it out. Look what the email looks like now. It just says reply. Reply at replies.gohighlevel.com. Replies.gohighlevel.com is again my Mailgun setup, right? But the reason I wanted to show you this test was that this is what happens if you don't put a name and email here in the settings, right? In this case, I only had a name and not an email. You should make sure both of them are populated, right? Because if they're both not populated, we don't know what to use for these emails. So again, this is the lowest level. The lowest level is the company settings. Now, how do we override this? I'm just gonna quickly put back my original email. So the second layer is within campaign configurations. So I'm going to click campaigns. I'm going to find our campaign again, which is email testing. And I'm going to click campaign configurations. And here you can put another email and name, which will override the company level. So for this, I'm going to put in john@johnsmithkeys.com. And the name is going to be John Smith. And I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go back to my contact and add myself to that campaign again to run another test. And this is the best way of testing, guys. It's always just manually adding yourself as a lead to the campaign to see what happens. So this is a good tip for you guys. So email testing, add, give it a few seconds. The email just sent. And now let's go back to my inbox and see what happens. Refresh. And there it is, John Smith, john@johnsmithkeys.com. As you can see, those campaign configuration settings overwrote my company settings, right? So this is the second tier. It's slightly stronger than the previous tier. But there's a third tier, and the third tier all has to do with users. So if I actually go back to my campaign, by clicking campaigns and email testing, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to click campaign configurations. I'm going to remove the from email and the from name, and I'm going to assign a user to this campaign. So let's go with Benjamin Button. And I'm going to hit save. And now if I click on settings on the bottom left, team management, as you can see, here's my users, and here's Benjamin Button. Benjamin Button's name is Benjamin Button, and his email is change@change.com for some reason. I have no idea why. And if you click edit, here's where you can edit the name and the email. And the email is the user, like that they use to log into the system, right? For your client or your salespeople. Just gonna keep it to change@change.com. I don't know why I even have that there. But now let's go run another test. So I'm gonna go back to contacts, find my contact, click it, scroll down, add, email testing, and add. Give it a few seconds, and this just went out, another email. Let's go back to my inbox and see what happens. Refresh, and there we go. Now we're using Benjamin Button change@change.com, right? So there was a lot of information there. And I did that pretty quickly because I assumed you knew most of what I just showed you there. But again, there's 3 layers here that you guys need to be aware of in regards to masking emails. The weakest layer, the fallback, the default, is the company settings, company name and company email. The second layer, the second strongest, is the campaign configurations from address and from name. And then the strongest layer, the layer that always overrides the other two, is users. So if you assign a user to a campaign, when the lead hits the campaign, it's going to be assigned to that user. So we assume you want that user's information to populate the name and email that the email send out from. And just the final tip is always use both from email and from name, right? On the user level, you can give it both a name and an email, right? On the campaign configuration level, you can give it a name and an email, and on the settings company layer, the weakest level, you can give it a name and an email. So always make sure to give it both. Always make sure to use both these fields, because if not, you're going to end up with this reply that we didn't want, right? So that covers that. I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. Definitely an advanced topic with the system. But yeah, I hope that cleared that up for you. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.